Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I see we have a pretty even mix of ladies and gentlemen here, which is quite different from other events I typically attend. My, home organization is the American Translators Association, which is comprised about 75 of members are women, and accordingly the events have 75 or even more attendees are women, and the rest are men or people who are not sure of their gender, I suppose. And so it's refreshing to see that there's some balance in the industry as well. First of all, I want to thank Reinhard, and as he mentioned, we've been friends for a long time. We keep running into each other in different events, and we've been presenting on a few panels together. And of course, Harlan and all the other organizers of the conference for putting this together and having me here. Quick introduction about myself and the company before I hand the mic over to Thomas. And I have no idea what I have to. Oh, sorry. Reinhard, so my name is Jiri Stejskal. If you can hear from my accent, I'm not Irish, obviously, but not American either. I'm Czech by origin. I moved to the United States about 25 years ago. I was one of the last political refugees, I guess, from what used to be Czechoslovakia. And I started working as a translator, which is why I know a lot about translators. Translation, before I moved over to the dark side and became a LSP, a translation company, which the industry is now starting to realize. And I served on board of ATA, the American Translators Association. I serve as the vice president of the International Federation of Translators. And these are organizations primarily for freelance translators. I kind of feel like an imposter there, and I think my days are numbered with these organizations. So I'm moving over to places like this one at this point. The company CETRA Language Solutions I started about 15 years ago in Philadelphia, where I live currently. Today we have several locations in the United States. So Philadelphia is the headquarters. We have offices in Virginia, California, and most recently here in Limerick, which is why I'm standing here. We provide mostly translation services. We have growing practice of interpretation, mostly for the US government. And the newest service for us is localization, and the Limerick office is where the action will be with localization. And I will tell you why we are here and not in Galway or Dublin or Prague or Paris. We made a strategic decision a couple of years ago that we want to open an office in Europe. We have a number of clients here already, and in the time zone all the way down to Africa. So we felt we want to. I couldn't make my people come to the office at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to communicate with people here. So we said we will open an office in Europe, which we did. Myself being Czech, the first obvious choice would be going to Czech Republic. Unfortunately, being a political refugee, I just know way too much about the political and business climate there, and I didn't feel comfortable setting my shop there. And I understand there are a few Czechs here, so I have to be careful what I'm saying, I guess. I reached out to a CEO peer group that I'm a member of that is international, and I asked for advice. We want to open up shop in Europe. What would you suggest? We were considering going to France because we do a lot of work into and from French. So the feedback I got from the CEOs is, whatever you do not open business in France. It's just the worst business environment you can imagine. So I said, okay, what do you suggest? And more and more I started hearing, Ireland is a pretty cool place to go. Why don't I reach out to IDA, which is the Irish Development Agency, and I understand there's a representative here who will talk later today, so I make sure to attend that session. So I got together with the IDA rep in New York with Seamus Carroll, who since moved on to other things. This is about 2 years ago. So I got together with Seamus in my office in Philadelphia. He came over and he said, "Oh yeah, sure, we can make this happen easily. Why don't you come over for a few days? We'll set up an itinerary for you, and we will see what's going on there." Now IDA has certain goals they need to reach, and they want to bring businesses to certain areas. So Carol kind of started pushing me towards West Coast and Limerick. However, in parallel, I did my research on my own, and I came up with the idea to locate the office in Limerick myself, which made Seamus very happy. Primarily because of the venue we are sitting in right now, because of the LRC and the localization program here at the university. Actually, the general manager of our office is a grad from UL here. So I understand he's one of the first students of Reinhardt in the localization program. Adrian Wall is the general manager. He's actually sitting at the table there with Reinhardt. So if you have questions, talk to him. He knows more than I do. I came over for just a few days, and the idea put together this amazing itinerary of events for me. I came in, I flew in the morning, and I had like 10 meetings, morning to night, bankers, tax advisors, recruitment agencies, lawyers, solicitors, I guess. So I was able to handpick people I want to work with, and we just made it happen. What I also found out about this place, why is it so nice to do business with? I travel extensively through the world and Europe, and I find Ireland, I guess, it seems like the only place in Europe where people actually like Americans. Even though I'm not American, I have 2 passports, but I kind of consider myself American at this point. So I always feel very welcome here, so that's great. Of course, there is a corporate tax advantage, which is an advantage if you make profit, of course. Otherwise, it doesn't do much for you. And as I mentioned before, there's this great pool of really qualified people in localization, which we are planning to draw on, which is exactly why we're here. So I will stop talking about myself. I will briefly introduce Thomas here from Twitter, who will be our keynote speaker. His claim to fame, he's a 2-time keynote speaker. He was here about 4 or 5 years ago, representing a different company. He was here for Google, and today he will be representing Twitter. Thomas is an experienced product lead with a background in web technology and consumer products, and mobile apps and enterprise software. He's a user experience specialist and localization expert. AI, I take that stands for artificial intelligence. AI, artificial intelligence researcher, successful people manager, and project lead with over 20 years of experience in IT business. And I mentioned Twitter and Google. He worked for some other companies you might have heard of, such as IBM, SAP, and Mozilla, in various roles as a product manager, software engineer, project lead, team lead, product specialist, and principal consultant for corporate strategy in the office of the CEO. If I make a mess of this, you have to fix your LinkedIn profile. That's where I took it from. So without further ado, please help me welcome Thomas.